What's going on, everybody? It's Jeremy coming to you with another video, and today we are talking about Christie, an establishment Republican sitting there and trying to say that the Trump legal team is a national embarrassment. The lack of self-awareness from these people is off the charts. This is why I cannot stand establishment politicians, whether they are Republican or Democrat. I don't respect either party when it's all said and done. They are all in bed together in some capacity. This is why they generally hate Donald Trump, because Trump is the anti-establishment candidate. And we have someone like Christie, who was Gavin Newsom before Gavin Newsom became Gavin Newsom. He wants to sit there and try to call the Trump legal team out. This guy is insane. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about it really quick. Christie attacks Trump again. National embarrassment. The behavior of President Donald Trump's legal team has been a national embarrassment, former New Jersey Governor Christie told ABC this week on Sunday. Christie, who is a staunch Trump ally, said it was time for the president to end his efforts to overturn the results of the election, as he has failed to provide any evidence of fraud. If you have got the evidence of fraud, present it, Christie said. He harshly criticized efforts by Trump's lawyers to smear Republican governors who have not supported the president's claims of a rigged election, specifically citing attorney Sidney Powell accusing Georgia's Republican Governor Brian Kemp of a crime. This is outrageous conduct by any lawyer. Yes, Christie, the person who has definitely never displayed any outrageous behavior, he's the arbiter of what is outrageous behavior. My God, these people are nuts. Emphasizing that Trump's attorneys have made accusations in public but have not raised them in court, where there are legal consequences for giving false information. They allege fraud outside of the courtroom, but when they go inside the courtroom, they don't plead fraud and they don't argue fraud, he said. Christie stressed that I have been a supporter of the president's. I voted for him twice, but the elections have consequences, and we cannot continue to act as if something happened here that didn't happen. He said, if you are unwilling to come forward and present the evidence, it must mean the evidence doesn't exist. The country is what has to matter the most. As much as I'm a strong Republican, I love my party. It's the country that has to come first. No, it's not the country that has to come first from your perspective. It's your own personal gain that has to come first, because you are acting just like so many of the other establishment Republicans that have a vested interest in the next step, and you're starting to get nervous because you don't know if it's worth it to stick by Trump and his team, because you're scared. You're scared of the doors they're going to open. Let me remind you, this is the same Christie who told the public they were not allowed to go to the beach. The beach was closed to the public, yet he was photographed on the beach with his family. This is the same Christie that's telling you that someone else is an embarrassment. That's right. Gavin Newsom before Gavin Newsom was Gavin Newsom. These are the establishment politicians. They are all dirtbags. They are all horrible people. I generally think, and I understand it's fiction. I understand that it's fiction, but I do believe it's based a lot in reality, and that is House of Cards. And while I haven't seen the final season of House of Cards because of everything that happened, and obviously Kevin Spacey's a terrible person, but if you just look at the show itself, it shows you how dirty and nasty and manipulative Hollywood too, but Washington is. And to be elevated in Washington, to be successful like a Christie, I mean, look at this dude. This dude, okay, was the governor of a state. This dude, okay, clearly, he's playing some backdoor politics. Clearly, he's a slime ball. Clearly, he's lying and manipulating himself all the way to the top of an entire state. And then there he is to implement rules only to break those rules, just like Gavin Newsom. But now Christie wants to tell us that Trump's legal team is a national embarrassment. It's all because they're trying to play politics. That's all these weirdos do. That's all they're worried about, is the optics and playing the politically correct game. And people are tired of it. Now, again, when it comes to Trump and his legal team, okay, yes, there are a lot of accusations out there. And I have talked about with Sidney Powell. I don't know if what she's saying is true. I believe in the entire campaign. Obviously, I'm a supporter of Trump. But I am not going to sit here and let these left-leaning politicians and this entire Twitter narrative weaponize my political opinion and intimidate me. We have seen what has happened right in front of our faces. We've heard everything that's gone on. 2 weeks to slow the spread, everybody. 9 months later, here we are facing lockdowns all over the country. Luckily, I live in the state of Florida, so I am not struggling with any of that because my governor is standing up against the nonsense. But people are just tired of all of this, and Christie is part of the problem. He's always been part of the problem. He's part of the Republican establishment. He's just like the Jeb Bushes of the world and the George W. Bushes. The Lindsey Grahams, all of those people, they are not in, like, this is why I do not have an allegiance to Republicans or Democrats. I don't like either party. I do not. I look at the situation and I support who I think is best for the moment, but I do not have any allegiance to either party because I believe that they only care about themselves and they care about optics and they care about playing political games and playing politically correct games that suits the people that they're trying to pander to, but in reality, they don't really care. And this is why I brought up back in 2016 during the primaries when Donald Trump was running for president, standing in the state of South Carolina, where George W. Bush had a 90% approval rating, and it was just reported he was coming back out for the first time ever to campaign for his brother. The optics of that situation is what any normal politician would look at. Any normal politician would look at that and go, okay, George W. Bush has a 90% approval rating, but he's going to be campaigning for Jeb, and that's going to be a really big win for Jeb, but I don't need to say anything bad because I want to keep that base happy too. And Trump sit there and trash George W. Bush on the stage during the Republican debate, got booed out of the building, then called all of the people that were booing special interest and donors, would not back down. And I was like, this is a freaking alpha male right here. This is someone that's not worried about the politically correct optics of the situation, is just willing to call it like it is. It was a beautiful moment. And in that moment, I'd already believed in Trump because I'd been following Trump for a long time. But in that moment, I realized he is different. He is different than any other politician. Not another politician would have stood in that moment with George Bush being that well received in that state in that moment with Jeb Bush on stage. No other politician running for office would have ever called that out because all they're ever worried about is playing the optics, playing the politically correct game. And just because it's politically correct doesn't mean it's on the left. Politically correct means you pander to your audience and you say what you think they want you to say. That way it gets the good traction that's out there. That's not what Trump does. Trump just says whatever he wants. He doesn't care. He says what he thinks is right. He doesn't care how it lands. And just like I even criticized them for how this whole Sidney Powell thing looks. And with her being on the stage with the legal team, with Rudy Giuliani and Jenna Ellis. And I was like, this doesn't look good. But Trump doesn't worry about the optics. He just worries about getting things done. He doesn't worry about the social media freak out. That's the difference between him and people like Christie. These people are horrible people. Politicians do not care about you, whether they are Republicans or Democrats. They are part of an establishment. They are part of a corruption. They are part of a group of people that all they do is lie and manipulate their way up to the top. That's it. And they all are in bed together. Christie is part of the problem. So you guys let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you very much for checking out this video. Follow me on Parler, DDayCobra, DDayCobra. You can also support us over on geeksandgamers.com. That is our website. That is my website. It's a full editorial website. I have an editor-in-chief, have a writing team. We're actually looking to expand the writers on our staff. It will be voluntary. So if we will get a link up in probably in the next few weeks and get all of that sorted out. But supporting us on the website with premium membership gets you exclusive access to live streams for premium members. We send an email notification out. We're currently working on developing an app. That's going to take a lot of work and a lot of time and a lot of money, but with the support we've been receiving, we can definitely make this happen. So thank you all for the support here on this channel, on Geeks and Gamers, on Park Hoppin', on Sports Wars, on Twitch, on geeksandgamers.com. I'm on Rumble. I'm on Parler. We have Twitter accounts for Geeks and Gamers. We're all over the place, and we appreciate the support. You guys have a great day, and we will talk to you later.